Well, hi, you guys. Welcome back to another episode of Eek Acres. I wanted to say that if you go on YouTube and you look at the recommendations that are coming up on the main page as soon as you click on YouTube, you will see thumbnail after thumbnail after thumbnail of all kinds of people working hard to get you to click on their video. And they're always like, the kind of videos I'm talking about where it's always something that's shocking or something that's like really important, and they'll put up these fancy thumbnails just to get you to click on the video. Well, as you guys notice, I don't do that, and I won't do that because I like just having a thumbnail of me in the video that I make, and it relates to the video that I make because I like to keep things real. I don't really put anything into my thumbnail. I just take an image, a screen capture from the actual video that I just made, and that becomes my thumbnail. And maybe I'll have a little bit of text over here on the side or anywhere where there's room around my head to put text. And it's because I want to just keep it simple and keep it real. I don't want to do anything that creates clickbait or be accused of doing clickbait or anything like that, because I think it's the message is more important than the thumbnail or the appearance of your background. As you can see, I don't use green screens. I don't put up anything behind me. And I'm just coming to you guys as I am from where I am. That's just how I do my channel. And that's how I always plan on doing my channel. So anyway, what I wanted to talk about in this video is that sometimes in your life, things will feel right, and other times things will feel wrong. Something will just seem out of place. And even though Bridget and I put a lot of time and effort and work into this property and this home to make it what it is now, there's something about it that is empty. There's something about it that is missing. And there's something about it to where it just doesn't feel like home. And I just can't put my finger on it. I really don't know what it is, but this place just don't feel like we fit in here, like we belong here. But ever since we've lived here, it just doesn't feel like other places have. And I think it's been more of just a temporary dropping off point. Something to hold us over until we can get where we need to be. That's what I think it is. And I also think it doesn't feel right because Bridget's family's not around. She doesn't have her kids around. She doesn't have her grandkids around. And I think that's important because what's more important than family? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. I found out today that a young guy that was working at a convenience store, the manager of that convenience store of where he was employed also owned a property. And he was renting from the manager of this store that he worked at. And just the other day, he didn't show up to work. He didn't call in. And when they called his house, he did not answer the phone. So this manager said, well, I'm going to just do a wellness check on him, and I'm going to go find out why he didn't come into work. And she knocked on the door and peeked in the window, and there he was laying on the floor dead. This happened just yesterday. She found him dead on the floor. They found out that he died of a massive heart attack, and he was only 38 years old. Didn't have anything wrong with him. Just dropped dead before he was to show up to work that morning. Just yesterday. And I'm telling you this because things in life, you guys, can happen fast. I remember my brother talking about plans he had, and went out to dinner one night with his wife, and then he was killed. Hit head on by a speeding car that took him out. And his wife survived, and she's moved on with her life now. So when something don't feel right in your life, or you feel like something is off, like you're not working at the right job or you're not living at the right residence, something in your life just feels off, like you need to do something about it, do something about it. Because life has a funny way of letting you know if you veered off your path slightly. And if you veered off your path quite far, there will be warning signs to tell you. You'll get that gut feeling, your inner voice that will tell you something's not right. I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm not living in the area where I should be living. I'm not working at the job I should be working at. You will know. You will feel it. And I know all of you watching this video understand what it is I'm saying, that you can relate to what I'm saying, because we all get that inner knowing. Listen to it. Act upon it. There's a lot of things, you guys, in life that are scary. Now, we can talk about the unknown. And when I say the unknown, people may think about the paranormal, the unexplained, Bigfoot, UFOs, whatever. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the unknown that is out there when it comes to making decisions. Should I or should I not move? Should I or should I not quit this job and move on and work somewhere else? Maybe there's something else I'm supposed to do. Maybe there's another job that would feel more right and more fitting for me than this current one that I have. Do something about that. Because if you don't, it's going to keep nagging you. And it's going to keep nagging you until you get on that path you're supposed to be on. It's just nature's way of keeping you on course. That's what it is. I'm a firm believer in this because it's all in us. It's all in us. That all-knowing, whatever that is, God, the universe, whatever you may call it, you'll know if something's off or wrong. Just like if you run across somebody and you're in their presence and you can just sense that there's something wrong with that person. They're not quite right and they're not safe to be around, and you just want to get away from that person. Same thing. It's those little warning bells that go off in you. But for some reason, I have felt like it's time to move on to a new journey, a new beginning, and I refuse to be afraid of it. Right or wrong, I refuse to be afraid of it. Because the only way that we learn in life is if we go all in and try our best. You can't let the fear of the unknown hold you back. Because for all you know, unless you do it, you don't know what awaits. You don't know what kind of great things could be waiting for you unless you make that choice, you make that move. You have to be willing to take the steps to make it happen. Sometimes it can be a couple steps. Sometimes it's 50 steps. Sometimes it could take a week. Sometimes it could take half a year. But once you get that ball rolling and you take those steps to make those changes, when you get on the other side of that and now you're experiencing what you originally were thinking of, and now you're there at the point B from point A, and you say, man, I am so glad that I listened to my gut. I am so glad that I made this choice and this decision that changed my life, because now I'm happier, I'm better off, I feel so much better. I feel like I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing now. The sooner you get there, the better off you'll be and the happier you'll feel. And then that nagging thing that was always nagging you all the time saying this don't feel right will go away, because now you're put back on your true and right path. When you listen to that guidance, it will always take you to where you're supposed to be. It'll always show you the way. And you have to be willing to follow that way. Even sometimes if it's hard, if it's really tough, you have to make the steps. You have to make that initiative to make it a reality. Otherwise, you're never going to know. And yeah, the unknown can be scary. Moving to a different state can be scary. Trying a new job, getting into a new relationship, whatever it might be that's brand new and outside of your usual norm can be a little unnerving sometimes, because it's like, I'm not used to this. I've never done this before. This is the first time I've ever taken a leap of faith in my life. I've always been in my comfort zone. I've always been comfortable just in this zone, and I've always been afraid to go outside of it. Don't be. Because the more you go outside of your comfort zone and expand that horizon and broaden that area that you've been familiar with for far too long, the more opportunities that come available to you, the more comfortable you become going outside of that and expanding, because it's about learning and building and creating and filling your life with as much as you can to make your life feel fulfilled. That's what it's all about. If you always stay just within a bowl, your life is always going to be whatever's inside that bowl. It's never going to grow, and it's never going to be anything outside of what's in that bowl. That becomes your world. That becomes your life, and that's familiar to you, and it's everything you know. And you don't ever want to go outside of that because of fear. And fear is a false illusion, and that's the devil trying to keep you in one area so you don't grow, so you don't learn, so you don't experience anything new and wonderful. And you just stay in that bowl like a fish in a fish bowl, and that's your world. It'll never be more than what it is, just that. It'll never be more. So don't be afraid that if you make a change, that maybe it's going to change your income, like I'm doing, or it's going to change your lifestyle and what you're used to, or it's going to change whatever. Use your imagination. Because change isn't always just negative. Rarely is it ever negative. When you talk to most people that made life-changing decisions, 99.99% of the time, it was for the better. It was positive. They said, my God, I'm so glad that I did this, because had I not done that, I would still be in that bowl, like that goldfish swimming around, and that was my life. It was boring. It was familiar. It was too comfortable. We are creatures that need to be challenged. We need new horizons. We need new challenges. We need new experiences. Otherwise, inside, we slowly die. And that is what causes depression. That is what causes loneliness. If you want to break outside of that, you have to be willing to break outside of your normal little world. You have to get outside of that area to explore, to see what the world has for you, what awaits. Don't fear it. There's a lot of great things out there that you otherwise would never experience if you just stay in that little bowl that you live in. You got to get outside of that. And you have to be willing to take risks and chances, because I'm going to tell you right now, I have never in my life been afraid to take chances. When I lived at that other place I was living at for 15 years, I got comfortable. I knew that place like the back of my hand. That place felt like home. And what did I do? I gave it up. I gave up that comfort zone that I was in for 15 years. I gave up the only home I knew. I gave up the only life that I knew. I wasn't afraid. I gave Roger my notice, and I says, at the end of the month, I'm leaving. I'm leaving. I'm in a new relationship. I'm leaving. Wherever it takes me, I'm welcoming the experience of where it's taken me. And I'm not afraid to do it again and again and again, because I have had it proven to me in my lifetime that every time I did something new, when it was very uncertain, I don't have a crystal ball. I had no idea what was going to happen. I had no idea if I was going to be better off or worse off. I was not afraid to give it my all to see what's going to happen. The hell with it. Going to see what happens. Because the life I was in, nothing was happening. Wake up every day the same. Went to bed in the same bed. Woke up in the same house. Day after day, year after year, my life was staying the same. It only changes when you create the change. When you make change happen. You say, you know what? I'm going to do something different. I'm sick of this life. I'm sick of being in this place that I've been at for years on end, and nothing in my life is ever changing. Maybe you're tired of a relationship. Maybe you're tired of a job. You have to be willing to take a chance and change. Because I haven't ever run into somebody that ever said, yeah, I took a chance and I did this, and oh boy, do I regret it. No, they always said, man, I'm glad I did. I'm so glad I did. My life has been so much better because I did. That's the response you'll find. There's a lot of great things out there that await you, but you can't be afraid of it. I'm not going to worry if I'm going to make enough money. I'm not going to worry if where I'm getting my money is going to last. There's always ways to make money. I will find a way to eke out a living because I've always been able to do that all my life, because I've always had to look out for myself. There's nobody out there that's going to take care of me. There's nobody out there that gives a crap if I make it. If you let fear stop you, you will dwell in that bowl of loneliness and familiarity and depression, and you'll say, is this all there is to life? Is this what my life has become? Screw that. Take a chance. I've taken many chances, and there's been a lot of things I've failed at in life. I failed at going to college. I failed at school. I've only got a 5th grade education with no GED. I had no idea when I was homeless what was going to happen to me when I lived in the woods. Was I going to survive? Was I going to die? I survived it, and here I am. And I did it for a whole year. Broke. The only money I had in my pocket was whatever change I found on the ground, or if I robbed a pop machine at 2 o'clock in the morning by jiggling the lever up inside the mechanism that would make coins drop out into my hand. I'm not proud of it, but I did that because I was starving to death. I had a lot of things to where I had no idea what was going to happen to me. No idea at all. And yes, it was scary. It was uncertain. What am I going to do now? But you know what? I said I'm going to plug on. I'm going to get through today. I'm going to get through tonight, and I'm going to get through tomorrow. And I did. Through all the different things that I've experienced in my life, all the different places that I've lived, all the different places I've worked, all the different amounts of money that I made, all the choices that I made, I survived it all because I never gave up. Because it's like I said to myself, I will get through this. I will do this. And whenever change came about, you know what? I turned my head around and I said, it's time to go to work. It's time to get this done. And that's exactly what I did. Because I didn't give up and I didn't let fear stand in my way. Even when I was in it all by myself, alone, with no support, nobody to cheer you on, to say, you can do this. None of that. On my own, with God watching out for me and his blessings. And I talked to God. That's what got me through it. As long as you got my back, God, I'm not afraid to face anything. And it was the same way when I just had this biopsy done on the cancer in my kidney. I knew I was being put under and I knew I could die. And I said, I trust in God that he'll wake me up when it's over. And he did. Here I am. And I'm going to ask him to do the same thing in 2 months when I have to have my kidney removed to get the cancer out of me. I'm not going to go into that with fear. I'm going to go into it with faith. Replacing fear with faith. You replace fear with faith, you can accomplish anything in this life, anything in your life. Knock fear out of the way and replace it with faith and say, I will, not I can't. Don't ever, ever say I can't. Say I will and I can. And I'm going to. I'm going to. Because that's what I'm going to do. Every day that I wake up and face my life, I'm going to say, I am going to do whatever it is I want to do. I'm going to do it, and I'm going to accomplish it. And you can too. It's all up here, and it's all right here. And it's trusting God above. So long as you don't let fear stop you here, and you've got the will in your heart and the faith in your heart, and you believe in God to back you up and be with you and to bless you, you can walk through the flames of hell and come out victorious. You can do anything you want to do. Anything. Don't be afraid. Replace fear with faith. And you'll have all that you desire. Trust me on that one. Going forward, whatever happens, Bridget and I are going to do the best we can do. And wherever we end up, we are going to do it with faith and not fear. And I hope that you start doing the same. Thanks for watching, you guys, and we'll see you again in the next one. Bye-bye.